Welcome back for another message from the host. Today we have a very special guest. I'm going to introduce my co-host on. Kent's here again.
Yay.
Gabe Pena, new wellness unit member, is here with us.
Thanks for having me.
And it's my honor to welcome on Houstonian president of the Family's Auto Dealership, Mr. Philanthropy himself, Alan Helfman.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Joe.
Thanks for being here. We're going to get into your mission of why you do what you do.
Thank you.
And I think it goes back to growing up and taking cues from the parents.
Yeah, I think my mother and dad were very involved in philanthropy, and I figured I would follow in their footsteps because I thought it's the right thing to do.
Well, we really appreciate it, and we really appreciate you back the blue from all over the country.
Yes, I try to help what I can. You know what I'm saying? So as soon as Chief Como got in and stuff, I had an ability to be able to do that, a tool, I guess.
Yeah, we're really happy to work with him and get to know him, and so far so good, and we're all here to support him and make sure he succeeds, because
yes,
if he does, we all succeed.
Oh, yeah, 100%. We all have to help out when we can. Yeah,
so you're a fundraiser extraordinaire.
Yes, sir.
I've read that you did 2 fundraisers a month for the past 2+ decades.
Yeah, it's close to 40 years is what it is, and it's permeated to other first responders, and it's also permeated to universities, senior care centers. Try to give, especially in Houston, I try to give a lot of auction items. To some of them even get free cars.
Oh man, okay. Well, we're gonna get to Houston, but I want to go back to where it started. Can you tell us a little bit about where you grew up?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I grew up in Houston, Texas, and I was pretty fortunate. I went to Memorial High School and actually went all the way back to Benwood Elementary when they gave us the flagpoles, and they give you a little badge for your little lapel and when you made good grades. So you had to kind of try to stay out of trouble and stay set. And so then I went to University of Texas, and then after that, Hook'em Horns. And after that, I decided that I wanted to make a little difference. We had a number of car dealerships, and we had a bunch of different scenarios of doing well, and I thought I would do well, and worked hard, and I thought that would pay off. And as well, I wanted to make sure that there were other people smiling as well that maybe didn't have quite the opportunities and stuff that I had.
Yeah, can you talk about your dealerships, the family dealerships?
Yeah, well, River Oaks Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram was the first one, and it's about 55 years old. And then about 35, 40 years ago, we started Helfman Ford, and then we opened Helfman Dodge, and then we opened Helfman Maserati, Alfa Romeo. And what's been a really unique deal is it's been a great opportunity to get to meet a lot of people, open a lot of doors, and have a lot of fun, and make the scenario work where a person can get a car that may not have any other way of doing it. So all that stuff has been
rewarding.
Rewarding, and I'm very elated to be able to do it.
So you sit on several boards. I was reading, and there's many. Can you talk about some of them?
Yeah, I'm on Tillman Fertitta, which is the Houston Rockets owner. He has the Houston Police Department Foundation Board that he's the president of, and so I'm really happy to do that. I'm on the Fire Department Board, and there's just a number of them. Crime Stoppers. I was on the MD Anderson Auxiliary Board. 7 Acres Senior Care Center, the one we've given a number of cars to.
Yep.
Their board, and a number of times they ask me to be on the board, and I say, well, I can't make the meetings, but I can help with money and funds and influence, whatever else. And one guy would tell me, why don't you ever come to the meetings? I said, well, and this was a number of years ago, and I said, if your dad was across the street eating lunch, how much would you give to be able to go do it? And he was about 70 years old, so his dad would have to be 100-something years old. And I said, how much would it be worth to you to go have lunch with him, then nullify that meeting that's going down the road for the charity? He said, I'd probably give infinite amount of cash. And I said, well, so that's the point I'm trying to make, is that I get the chance to eat lunch with my dad every day. So it was quite an honor.
But I'm sure you pull your weight in all these. So that there's ways, yeah, and I'm I'm on the Assistant Officer Foundation board, and
Assistant officer. Yeah.
I'm not a really big meeting type person either.
Right.
I'd like to know what was talked about, but my role is different. You don't have to be at every meeting to be productive.
You buy the table, you give them auction items, you peddle influence or whatever you need to do. You help them with cars, whatever they need fulfillment in. You try to do it, and what I've been honored is that, you know, I used to think, well, how can I make a difference in the world, and because I've been pretty fortunate, I said, well, the officers, if you dial 911, the officers are going to come, or the fire department's going to come, or the ambulance is going to come. But when they dial 911, who's going to come for them? You know, they get a health retirement or something that's not a lot of money. And I say, you get killed, you get shot, you get run over, you get lose an arm from cancer or whatever it may be. You got to be there. And I knew I could make a difference. I knew sports memorabilia besides cars. And I thought, you know what, I can do this. And so I joined, Tillman's board. And I also did my own fundraising for the Houston Police Department and the Houston Fire Department and many others. Now it's permeated everywhere, especially in the Houston area. And I said, I can make a difference. And so I said, well, the auctioneers it's not the money. It just, you can't get them. So I'll become my own auctioneer. I found out after doing a few of the fundraisers, HPD, the first one, some gentleman was run over by an 18-wheeler. And we did it at Cody's at the time, was a nightclub, and we did pretty good at it. And I said, you know what, I can do this deal. You know what I'm saying? And I can do 1 or 2 a month. I can dance, I can sing, I can auction. I know sports memorabilia. I can hold up the sports memorabilia. And the only question is why the officers bought their $10 lunch to support their fellow officer that's been hurt or whatever, or killed or whatever. And what could we do to make the people stay? So I figured, well, okay, 10 models, all dressed properly, dancers, models, and the whole bit. And you know what? They all stay now. And that's been going on for better part of the 40 years.
That does work.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
I've seen it work.
Yeah, it does work. And truthfully, I raised between $25,000 and $150,000 at every one of them.
That's incredible.
And I knew y'all had a couple things. And I said, if I'm going to really start helping Dallas some, I need to be a little bit involved. So I sent Joe, the $5,000 for the ATO, and then back to Blue, we sent the other $5,000.
Yes, sir.
So.
And greatly appreciated.
Yeah, no, it's good. And if y'all get a foundation started, and I'm hoping the chief can work through that, like Tillman has one. And why can't they do a big fundraiser like we do it at Tillman's house? And if it's rained out, he does it at his hotel.
Right.
It's a really nice scenario.
A lot of our big supporters are more behind the scenes. They're not the flash and flare of some of these big corporations and the big promotions that people put on.
Sure.
They're very happy staying quiet behind the scenes and still supporting it. And it's interesting because that's basically how I've seen Dallas work. Is a lot of our supporters are the quiet type. And so to have somebody who's out in the public and doing something, twice a month.
Yeah, I was
for 20 plus years.
And then 40.
Yeah.
Close to 40. And also, when League City Police Department or Friendswood Police Department or Waller Sheriff's Department or Galveston County, Jimmy Fullen or the cat, or Alan Rosen calls me from the constable's office, you got to give items. You can't just say, well, I do all this show for this, but if Constable Alan Rosen calls, or if Constable Phil Sandlin calls, or or my new constable Smokey Phillips, you can't tell them no.
That's an interesting perspective, because you actually could, and a lot of people do,
no, I know,
but you don't.
No.
And we really appreciate. It's rare to see it.
Look,
especially on your level.
When Marty Langton came to me, the president of the fire department, said, "Hey man," he said, "I need you to start raising money like you do at HPD for the fire department." This was 10 years ago. I said, "Well, Marty," I said, "how much do you have?" I asked Marty Langton. I said, "How much do you have in your foundation, Marty?" He says, "I have zero." I said, "Well," I said, you're gonna go to a Tillman fundraiser for the foundation that I'm involved in, Tillman Fertitta, and then you're also going to go to my fundraisers that I've done, over 102 of them. Well, at the time, I don't know exactly how many, but it was 82 or whatever it was, and it may be 202. I stopped counting, but the thing is that I said, you're gonna come up there and you're gonna see. And at the end of the night, he said, "You blow my mind." That was 10 years ago, and now we stuck $5 million. I said, "I'm throwing you a fundraiser every year," and there's been $5 million in his foundation account. And you know what? It's bought a lot of different things. Look, for HBD, what Tillman Foundation does, they preference 3 items, and you get to pick one of the items, and it's pretty cool for each division. So you're able to buy y'all the equipment that y'all need to help your job.
Speaking of HPD, though, that is a organization near and dear to your heart, and you have backed the blue there for a very long time.
It goes all the way back to like Bob Thomas and some of them. I love Ray, Tim, and Doug. They're wonderful individuals. Ray, Tim, and Doug are like family to me. You know what I'm saying? And Joe Grimaldi, before that, and when they call or whatever, every day I'm thinking, well, how can I help their scenario a little better every day? It's like, so I got to do something almost every day. So they've, maybe a pool table or whatever comes their way goes their way. And it's kind of cool because it's almost every day.
Can you tell a story? I mean, you've had your hands in so many fundraisers for so many different reasons and for people's circumstances. Are there some out there that you've dealt with that really, touched you emotionally, that got you?
The 7 Acres Senior Care Center, Dad had supported it for a number of years, very ethnic diversified. There were like 400 people, and Hurricane Harvey came in, and it actually blew it away, and it was very close to just closing. And so they came, Malcolm Slako, he's deceased now, and came to me and said, can you help us do a fundraiser this year? We've done one every year. I said, I know that. And we try to buy the table and help out. And he says, hey, we're totally wiped out. Would you come by the center and take a look around? So I came around, and I saw the water lines were over the wheelchairs. And I thought to myself, this could be really have been an ugly scenario. And all the people were different places, and it was very blighted. And I said, well, you know what? Their board members were right there, Buster Friedman, a couple others. And I said, guys, I'm going to raise you money beyond money you've ever seen in your lifetime. And they said, yeah, buddy, show me the money, show me the money. Well, I raised $4.7 million that night, and now they bow. So,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
You showed them the money.
I showed them the money. And I was teasing the president of Memorial Hermann, Chuck Stokes, the late Chuck Stokes. And I love David Callender. He's the new head. He's a great dude. And I said, how much did you raise, Chuck? And he goes, I raised $3 million. I said, well, you didn't take me, guy. I had 4.7
right, yeah.
Up on 5th floor. I'm on 5th, and he's on 3rd.
And
hotel.
I read that that's one of the largest fundraisers ever in Houston.
Yeah,
and that says a lot, because that is I know that J.J. Watt is real big in the raising money down there. Well,
yeah. No, it's something I had to do, and I thought it was the right thing to do, and I used every scenario stratagem in the book to actually try to talk my fellow friends and neighbors and business associates into helping that center survive. And guess what? It's still surviving. And I actually just gave them a brand new Dodge Charger, so I think they're pretty happy. You know what I'm saying? No. They're going to do it on their February gala or whatever.
That's great.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's fun stuff.
So I do want to thank you publicly for your contributions to the ATO, and
yes.
And I know you're going to share this with a lot of your friends, or I hope you do.
Sure.
The Sissy Officer Foundation, we started in '99, and initially was started to help officers and their families if they have an injury, illness, or a catastrophic event. Well, now it's since grown to what we now help firefighters too. So we help firefighters or their families, and we also, in 2010, and this is where our biggest expense has been lately, is not just the financial assistance for the injury or illness, but the confidential counseling. We actually pay for mental health counseling for officers, their spouse, and their children.
Wow.
And since this wellness unit has started here in 2021, our bill has tripled, which is, it's amazing that officers are getting help, because for the longest time, PTSD was not talked about.
Right.
And we just you had officers that go out and handle other people's violence and grief and sorrow, situations. And we just packed it away. We didn't cope right yet. That's why you have a lot of alcoholism in this profession and bad coping habits. And now the counseling it's very needed, but that is what our primary mission now in trying to raise funds to give back, because we're happy that the money is being spent, but it's being spent as soon as we get it. So that's it's very.
Well, there's never enough, and some people like to be out there. Some people like to be under the covers, like you were saying. And as long as you help out a little bit, everybody needs to help out. First responders, whether it's hospitals, and we've done our share with every freaking hospital in Houston, and we've tried to give back in that area. Now we're doing colleges. We've got different namings at different colleges, and even Houston Community College down there named their law enforcement academy the Alan Helfman program or whatever. And we've done, at Houston Baptist University, that's now Houston Christian University. They got the athletic director Steve and Charles over there. They're really good people, and we did the Renee and Alan Helfman Championship lobby, and then at Rice we did the Helfman Landing, and then at TSU Helfman Provost Studios, and at Emory High School we did Helfman football field. I mean, we've been trying to give back in a lot of different areas, and it's rewarding that we're able to do it, and hopefully we'll knock on wood and say we can keep doing it. It's very important.
Well, you're energetic, and I think you're going to continue doing it.
Hope so.
I do want to ask you about the Helfman athletic field.
Yes.
I know. Can you tell the listener a little bit about that story?
Yeah. Back in the day, they didn't have a football field and a soccer field at Emory High School, Emory Middle School, and we thought, when Dad had passed, we thought maybe we should do something in his name. And my brother-in-law Nason, he had passed too, and we thought, well, maybe we'd do it in both their names. You know what I'm saying? So that's when we did the Helfman football field at Emory High School, Emory Middle School, and turned out really good. They told me right after we did that, the school sold out. I mean, it just immediately sold out, because if you give them, and then I think the Kress family wanted to put the football field around it, just things started happening. So it's a beautiful project. It's a beautiful field. They play 6-person football on it. They play 6-person soccer, and it's a wonderful way. I'll tell you another one we did, and just trying to tell you, we did Helfman Playland in the city of Meadows, and that was really good. We put a huge rock, and we said, you know what, my son Eric, he had had a young lady in the office with her parents and stuff, and she had shorter legs than the others, and she said, the other 2 kids said, we're going to go play in the park, and he said, well, maybe I could help you so you can play in the park next time. And so he said, Dad, you want to help me on this project? I said, sure, yeah, and so we took about a year or 2. He was pedaling all over the Sugarland area and stuff, and we finally opened Helfman Playland in the city of Meadows, and we let her cut the ribbon. So that was pretty cool.
How'd that make you feel?
Oh, wonderful. And, when I asked the officers over at the Meadows Police Department, this, that, and the other, how's that park doing? They'll say, man, the kids are playing on that park every freaking day. It's crazy on the weekends, he said.
Yeah, that's got to be very
it's
rewarding.
a place for everybody to go.
Do you get a sense of reward from doing this?
Yeah, I really do. I think it's it's something that a fulfillment. You can go along and you can make good money and this, that, and the other, and not do your share. At least when I go to bed, finally, I'm gonna know I did my share. And that's what I kind of would like to feel when I fall over at the desk at the car dealership. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you've done your part, and
done my part,
and God knows how many lives you touched.
Right, and that's important. That's part of the game. It's you can't go through this deal, especially when you're at the top of the game. You gotta give back, and you gotta hang in there, and you gotta. And especially when you're at the top of the game, a lot of people say, well, I don't have time on this, I don't have that. Dude, you're at the top of your game. It's time to bring it back. You know what I'm saying? Don't say that. Step up.
Speaking of stepping up and being at the top, you're kind of known for your high kicks.
Yes. That was a fundraiser I'd done for Jared Flores, and he unfortunately fell out of a golf cart and really never really recovered. And they did a series of fundraisers, but there was one that I got a call from. I was going to do it at the Union, and I got a call from Nolan Ryan's son, Reed Ryan, and said, "Hey,
You've heard of him?
Yeah, you're right." I said, "Reed," he goes, "Alan, Mr. Crane would like you to do it at the stadium, the Flores fundraiser." And I said, "Okay, Reed, we normally go to the Union or we go to a club that's close to the police officer's heart or whatever it is. We've done that a few times." And so we went to the stadium. I brought the models and I brought the dancers and brought the band and I brought all the auction items and had a lot of guest hosts. I think Constable Rosen was there. There was a bunch of really good folks that got on stage with me. But anyway, the end result was $150,000. So they said, you want to pitch out? I think Kyle's right. Kyle is Crane's one of his right-hand guys, and he said, "You want to pitch out?" I said, "Yeah, I'll pitch out sometime." And they had me pitch out, and the first year wasn't much of the leg kick, but there was a little leg kick. And I figured, they were going to do this every year. So I said, well, if you can do it every year, I really would like to bring my game to y'all. And so what I did was, and I know Altuve and Kyle and McCullers, I said, "How you get your legs so high?" Well, you have to stretch 1 hour every day, and you got to do it for a solid year, and you got to kick 50 to 100 times every day. You've got to really be on your game. An hour of exercise, an hour. You've really got to be on your game. And what I thought was, you know what, I can do this. And I can show them Juan Marichal at that mound. And I can give them my tennis shoes, which are one of a kind. They're called Dunks. And I could give you those. And I said, my off-whites brought $12,000 for the Astro Foundation like 4 or 5 weeks ago. I take it right off. And I figured, and the leg kick was like a world record. I mean, Reggie Jackson, a number of them said, "Man, Craig Biggio," they said, "Man, that looked like a world record to me." You know what I'm saying? And we, a lot of them saw Juan pitch and stuff like that. And so we actually checked in and dived in a little bit. And truthfully, for the first pitch out, there's never been anything like that before, and even on the mound, there's really never been too much like that ever before. So,
I'm gonna be posting pictures of that.
Okay. Thank
you. Reed's daddy was known for his high.
Yeah, he showed it to him one time.
Had
we
a
had
high
lunch
windup.
and he showed it to him.
That's
was
incredible.
fun. It was fun that we still have lunch once in a while, and it's because I've tried to support them and buy a bunch of balls and stuff like that.
Well, I'm pretty proud of my baseball and football and basketball card collection. I actually have a Nolan rookie that I'm pretty proud of. Kuzman.
Yeah,
Jerry Kuzman.
Yeah, if it's rated like a 10, it's worth
oh my God,
$500,000 bucks or something.
Mine is not rated. I need to mail it in and get it graded.
Right.
But it's hard for me to mail in something worried that I'm gonna
lose.
Lose
so it's kind of tough. So I get it 100%. So I mean, you may want to fly there yourself, put it on the deal, and say, "Grade it right here."
Right here.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I've had that for a while. I've got a Jordan rookie and Wayne Gretzky rookie.
So wonderful. And I try to, I'm telling you, I try to keep 400 items in that office almost every day. And I try to give every bit of it away. If there's a few I'll save that you can't ever get again and stuff like that, I'll save. But there's most of it because, I have a doctor friend that he saves all his stuff, and he's got his wife says we have 6 rooms in this house, and 4 of them are filled to the top with sports stuff.
ATO has several fundraisers throughout the year. We got 2 golf tournaments, and we have a clay shoot in April. But I need you to come down next August 8th. It's our Bags for Badges. So basically, imagine Magic Mike, but first responders coming out modeling high-end purses.
Oh, wow.
This year we had over 700 ladies playing bingo to win those purses. And you'll be laughing the whole time. But we always need raffle items for these events.
We got to figure out how to do a banquet for you. You know what I'm saying? And
we actually have an annual banquet. This banquet's been going since 30 years, and it's in January. And if you would like to come.
Yeah, that would be a good, maybe I bring some auction items, give you a wheel kick or something, and get some of the family involved in that and some of the friends.
No, I'll let you know. It's in mid-January, but we've been doing it for 32 years. It's an awards banquet, so it's our Cops Cop. So basically, each month throughout the year, we select and they're nominated by their peers.
Okay.
So the peers will nominate them for Officer of the Month.
Okay.
And at the Cops Cop banquet, we find out who wins the overall Cops Cop award. And then we get, it's really cool. We always have guest speakers, and it's really fun.
You can raise, if you get a lot, and like you said, there's a lot of Dallas people involved in this deal. But if we can get more and more involved in the assist the officer, really get them out there, really get them by a table. At the January deal where your banquet is, and because that's what they like. They dress up,
It's like a prom.
It's a prom, and that you have auction items at that deal. So,
yeah, we do. We do. We always could use more of that.
Yeah,
you know how hard it is to get the. Well, it's not hard for you, but it's sometimes hard for us to get them.
Yeah, but you know what? Maybe I could bring 30 or so, and I think, look, these cats really like that, or the ladies and some of them more men than ladies actually, but the bring some good stuff out there, and then you can try to sell it. Sell it. You could do like 10 from the podium and do like 20 more in the silent, and you'd be pumping it the whole time. And truthfully, we do as many as 30 or 40 from the podium. So it's really, and sometimes 50 to 70. But if it's two people, if we're doing for two officers, because you pick a cause too. Maybe, we're helping this officer and we're going to give him a check, and we're going to help a few others. And then over the year, we'll help many of them. You know what I'm saying? And it's really a good thing. And truthfully, you can get people that want to join the assist the officer board or something. You can do it like an auxiliary board. And they feel like they're part of it. You could do things like, well, some of the Houston, they do honorary, give them all honorary, and they can kind of hold the honorary badge. Can't really do a whole lot with it, but it's kind of fun to have it. If you've got everything else in life, why wouldn't you want to spend, $5,000, $10,000 for an honorary badge? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, it's really cool to have, and it makes you feel part of the assist the officer. I think that's what Chief Como was doing, the foundation, trying to get the foundation together, like Tillman Fertitta took the deal and just ran with it. And, got all his buddies to, help out and do the badges.
Chief Como came to our Bags for Badges and got on the stage and did some dance. I'll have to show you some videos.
Okay, good.
He did some dancing, and the ladies loved it.
Okay, so he took a few things from what he used to see me back when he was DA.
Wait till I send you the videos, and he was a great sport, and we even had our fire chief come in, and he stayed the entire time. It's fun.
I get the police chiefs to also sell stuff. You know what I'm saying? I say, hey, sell this for me. I may have got Danny to sell a few on when the HBD deals when he was a DA SAC.
Well, we're excited to have him, and also just he sees how much the ATO does, especially when the counseling, because you're in the wellness unit. And this is our wheelhouse, is taking care of officers' minds and their family, but he sees how much we do from the counseling aspect, and he said, I will support this however I can. So it's nice to hear.
No, it's a wonderful deal, and most of the police chiefs, from Chief Fenner all the way back, Bradford, they're all the way back. They've been very supportive of this type of stuff, and assist the officer and the foundation. They show to every one of those things. Most of my fundraisers that they don't have to show to my fundraisers, but I always call them, remind them, hey, so and so's fundraiser, and they say, I'll be there, or I'll send my guy and he'll buy something for me or something, and it's good. It's good to have them there, and it's the others. It's good leadership.
Yeah, you've met so many people and celebrities and political figures. I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Is there any that you've met that really made you like, wow?
Yeah, there's been a few. Senator Joan Huffman is really cool. There's been a few on both sides. Lee Brown was my dearest friend. I mean, truthfully, when he ran for mayor, I really liked him, and there was just so many of them on both sides of the aisle that I really enjoyed.
What about sports figures?
there's been a number of them that are really cool. I mean, Dan Pastorini, I've met Greg Bingham. I've met the fundraisers. So it's Nolan Ryan, one of my favorite. I mean, I've never personally met him, but I know Reed quite a bit because we go out and eat every 3 or 4 months. And
Earl Campbell.
I love Earl Campbell, and he's
Tyler
another.
Rose.
He's the best, and he doesn't mind doing. Hey, Earl, I need some items. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's been really good to us.
I want to talk about you being T-Cole certified. Can you tell us about that?
Well, back in the mid-20s, I thought, you know what? I was doing Johnny Clevenhagen for sheriff at the time. He was running for sheriff, and I said, I kind of got to know a little bit about this if I'm dealing with officers. Kind of live their life a little bit and the whole bit. So I called, I think we called Ann Letourneau out at Harris County Precinct 4. I think Mark Herman is the constable now, very dear friend. But back then it was Dick Moore, I believe, and she said, yeah, if you want to get in the class, we're teaching it for University of Houston downtown. And I knew I was going to be very involved with Houston Community College because I'd been going there, through my college time at University of Texas. I had done some summer school at Houston Community College, but I said, you know what, U of H downtown would probably be a good thing. I do some U of H hours also. And so I decided, you know what, I'll show up every night at 6 and go home at 10. And I didn't figure I'd have any problem with the T-Cole exam. And at the time that if you sit in a class for 8 months, or whatever it was, or maybe it was 5 months, and because I wanted to be a reserve, I knew I couldn't do full time, but I went every night and passed the test, and
there you are.
It was a good thing. Yeah, it was a good thing.
Yeah, we've actually had on one of them. I'm going to give a shout out to Gretchen Grigsby. She's one of the T-Cole directors. Okay. She's actually come on the show with her husband, so she's a good person.
She's from Houston or Pearland?
No, I believe she's in Austin right now. She's in T-Cole, but she works really closely with the governor.
That's good. So that's good. There's a lot of good things about all that.
Texas has got a lot of there's a lot of great people here in Texas.
Yeah, you learn a little bit, and it's good to do the hospitals. I remember when MD Anderson wanted a bridge that went over the train, and some of my relationships with different people got that to facilitate. The first bridge at MD Anderson was. We put the deal together, now there's 3 or 4 bridges, but at the time, and they tell me when I talk to the doctors and different people, they say, well, thousands of people, I take that bridge every day myself, because the president told me, Dr. Mendelson at the time, he said, look, Alan, help me because I'm having trouble. They're going to be accosted. It's hot. The patients, the doctors, the nurses, you got to get it where it goes to the parking lot straight into the hospital and back. And that's what we did. And we facilitated the first one. And he said, he was virtually crying to me. He said, I just can't get it done. It can't get done. I said, let me work on it a little bit, Doc. I'm gonna put my total effort behind that project, and we'll see if we can't come out with a victory.
Then literally builds a bridge.
Literally built a bridge. Yeah, built a bridge.
Wow.
And Mayor Brown was wonderful to me. I mean, he always would call me for lunch every few weeks, and we'd eat lunch and discuss different items and stuff like that. And we did a lot of good philanthropic stuff.
What are some of the upcoming fundraisers you got going?
Well, I got that APOL. APOL's coming up, and that's one of the unions at HBD. You got Sergeant Love with that, and we gave him a free car for his union, and we bought the big table, and we gave him 30 auction items, and I guess when you do all that, you're the honored guest or whatever. But that's course. What's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? And I'm so happy that is happening. And another way to help I think he said he has 1,000 police officers in that union, and anytime I can help first responders, it's a good day. And now that I'm, started 40 years ago, but probably for the last 30 years, I've been helping all the charities. It almost don't matter what charity it is. If I can give 5 auction items, 10 auction items, I try to do that. And you do what you can do. That's right.
Hence the name Mr. Philanthropy.
Yeah. And that's what the Astros, coined me Mr. Philanthropy. So, and every time I pitch out, that's what they say.
That's
and
incredible.
So it's fun, and it actually accents the TV commercial. You know, I have the ladies dancing with me, and we do a little kick in or a little punch in. We just try to, you know, with all the other stuff that's out there, you know, I try to make it fun, happy, and something they want, you know, men and women wouldn't mind watching, and just for a little bit, and be a little bit mad and crazy, you know, a little key-op with the kick or something, and a little, and some punches, and just whatever. Sometimes we kick through a window. We do all kinds of fun stuff, and just you know, so take their mind off all the stuff.
Negativity.
Yeah, all the stuff going on bad.
So, Alan, I want to end this message, and I want you to, I kind of want to go back, and I want you to talk about your amazing parents and how they inspired you to go on this mission.
Oh yeah. My dad's name's Jack. My mother's name's Elaine, and they're really good people, and they've been really kind to me through all these years, and it's a loving relationship, very important. And I just like watching them do it, and figured, you know what, I can do this too someday, and you know, I'll help out when I can help out.
Hey brother, hey sister, I'll never give up on you. Hey Mrs., hey mister, I'll see this all the way through. No matter how far the sun and the moon, I'll never give up on you. Down when you're lonely, I'll pull you up. Life leaves you heavy when the going gets tough. I'll be your shoulder, together we'll run. Up from the bottom, yeah, we'll rise above. Hey brother, hey sister, I'll never give up on you. Hey Mrs., hey mister, I'll see this all the way through. No matter how far the sun and the moon, I'll never give up on you. I'll never give up on you. Hey brother, hey sister, I'll never give up on you. Hey Mrs., hey mister, I'll see this all the way through. No matter how far, for the gold and the blue, I'll never give up on you.